The highs, I was working like 50, 60 hours a week. And it gets to a point where you almost feel obligated working at the company, and it starts affecting other portions of your life. All right, so today's video is going to be about my experience working 9-to-5 jobs and my insight on them. If you feel like you can relate to anything I'm gonna say in this video, please let me know down in the comment section below. But I'm just gonna get right into it. I don't have a script for this video, so I don't know how long it will be. Hopefully it won't be too long, because I know some people knock out after like 5 minutes of my videos, but just getting started. So 9-to-5. So my first real 9-to-5 job didn't start till after college, and I always dreaded working a 9-to-5 even before starting one, because I wasn't looking forward to like shallow conversations like, oh, how's the coffee? Or, oh, how's the weather? Or, you know, it's like, well, what's going on in the news? It's like, I know we both don't care, so it's like, why are we asking these questions? You know, it's just like formalities. At the end of the day, you're just being nice. But I feel like as though whenever you start a new job in general, whether it's 9-to-5 or not, everything is amazing at the very beginning. Everything is, you almost get treated like royalty when you first start a job, because you're brand new, you're meeting new people, everyone's being super nice, you get free stuff, life's great. And then it gets to a point like after 2-3 months, you just become the regular employee in the company. You're just another digit on paper to the high level people, and that's it. And so I think it's really important to understand the difference between like work friends. I call it people I work with. Some people call it work friends, and then you have your actual friends. For me, here's how I understand it. So I feel as though at work, people act a little bit different than they would outside of work. And it's pretty easy to understand that, because if you meet someone at work and you understand like the way they do things and whatnot, and then you meet them outside of work consistently, you notice they're like almost two completely different people. And it just feels weird like having conversations with people at work, because it always feels like they have a facade on, like they're trying to be like this perfectionist all the time at work. And it's like, we're co-workers. We all want the same promotion. We all want to advance, but at the end of the day, it's like, you have to understand like who are your work friends and who are your actual friends. Yeah, like I remember going into work after about 2 weeks. For me, like some people it takes like 3 months for them to be like, oh no, this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. Me, after 2 weeks, I'm like, I know this is what I'm doing for like the rest of my life. This is not gonna fly. So it got to a point where I'd go on walks like every 2 hours, because I just could not sit at my cube all day. I would just like walk, look around and be like, man, I wish I could just be out here sometimes. And then I would just be so bored at work, because I would have 8-hour shifts per day, but there would only be like 2 hours of actual work that I needed to do. So the rest of the 6 hours, I was just like, what am I supposed to do? There'd be times like I'd put my head down on my desk and I'd fall asleep sometimes. But like I wasn't like lazy or anything. I'd like always get my work done at work. You know, there's always like high productivity times of the year, low productivity times of the year. And at the highs, I was working like 50, 60 hours a week. And it gets to a point where you almost feel obligated working at the company, and it starts affecting other portions of your life. That's why I think work-life balance is really important. And my right foot is cramping. Okay, it's better. So it also gets to a point where, what was I saying? Obligations. Whenever you sign the contract to start working at a company, you are obligated to work at that company. And I think that's another big problem I have with companies, because I feel like most companies nowadays are saying that, oh, this is a family culture, or this is a family environment. We're all family. At the end of the day, I feel like if you are not C-level position in the company, you are replaceable at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how many hours you put into the company. It doesn't matter how many years you've been working in the company. Your job is to make the company more money, and you are expendable. I'm sorry to say. And I've seen people at my previous job, like they've been working there 20, 40 years, gone just like that, because the company just wants to make more money. And it's just crazy to me sometimes how companies say that we're a family, but they will backstab you in a heartbeat after you give them so much of literally your life to make them a better company. So I just feel like it's disingenuous when companies say they're family culture. That's my whole rant on that. But going back to my experience, I keep on going on tangents. Yeah, so there was a period of time where I was working like really hard. Like I said, like 55, 65 hours a week. And I was actually personally, I feel like I was doing a lot of work, and I was just going to my manager like, hey, I'm doing a lot of work. Here's the value I'm bringing to the company. Hey, do you think you can like get a promotion for me? And I was begging for 6 months straight. There were times where I'd go and he'd be like, oh, I completely forgot. And it's just like, yeah, you forgot. Okay, I understand. I met with this guy 5 times in a row, and it took me going above the chain of command to be like, hey, I want a promotion. Can you get this thing started? This is what I'm doing for the company. He's like, yeah, I can start doing that. 2 weeks later, got a promotion. So that's probably what I should have done at the very beginning, but I was just doing so much work, and I was begging 6 months that, hey, I feel like I deserve a promotion. It got to a point where I was working so hard that it was affecting other portions of my life. And that's why I say I think it really is important to find a company that really understands your work-life balance, because when work is done, work should be done. You should not be bothered with work after you leave the office. Because I remember when I was gonna leave, they're like, hey, we can offer you more money. And in my head, I'm just like, it gets to a point where it's like money is not going to make me happy. It's not gonna make me stay. I want to feel fulfilled, and I want you guys to see value in me rather than just dollar signs. And I don't think companies understand that. It's like, I'm more than just a digit on a paper bringing you more revenue. I want to feel like I actually belong with the company. And that's something that I just felt like I wasn't getting at my previous job. And this is not me ranting on like all 9-to-5 jobs are bad, because there are some companies that are really good, that do understand work-life balance. But I also do believe there are other companies that kind of take advantage of people, especially younger people, because they know they don't have any, dependencies, obligations, commitments. Basically, they have a lot of free time is what I'm trying to say. And then they can just take their free time all the time. And it's like, I have a life too, it's like, I don't have a wife and kid. I don't have a dog. I don't have a cat. So one of the things I've learned personally working 9-to-5 is you need to let people understand that once you leave the office, you are done. You cannot call my cell phone. You cannot email me. If you do need to reach me, I will reach you in the morning. If it is serious, call my cell phone twice. That's how I know it's serious. Leave a voicemail. If I don't pick up the first time, I'll listen to the voicemail. But if I am doing my thing with other people, do not bother me, period. Unless it's an emergency. If the company is about to go under and I'm the only person that can save the company, I will pick up the phone. Other than that, it's not that serious. It can wait till tomorrow. I will say people at work really make or break staying at a company, because if you are at a job where your work sucks, but the people you work with make it enjoyable, I think that's like that's a pretty good job. But obviously the better job is there's work you're doing that you love, and the people you work with you love is making it more enjoyable as well. And it's like, that's a win-win. But when the job sucks and the people suck, that's a red flag. It's like, you gotta start looking for another company. But like I said, like, I feel like don't what am I trying to say? Don't be blinded by the honeymoon phase. And specifically, the honeymoon phase for me, I got this from like Call of Duty, because games come out every year, And like the first 2 months, all the players like, oh my God, this game is amazing. Then it's like month number 3, everyone's like, this game is trash. We have to play this for the rest of the year. So I think like same thing applies for like a company. It's like the first 2 months, you think it's like, oh my God, this is amazing. I think I can do this forever. Then it's like third month hits. It's like, this sucks. I cannot do this. But you feel obligated to stay for a year because it's on your record, technically, if you want to put it on your resume or whatnot. Like, I remember my mom got surgery on her hand, right? And she's been working at this company for, I want to say, over 20 years. She does work with her hand. And I remember one day I called her recently after her surgery, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm leaving work. And I'm like, why are you going to work? And she's like, if I don't show up, if I don't show up, they're gonna fire me. And in my head, I'm just like, what? How can this company fire you if you've been working here for 20 plus years and you just had surgery? Like, they can't see that. I just don't understand it. It just blows my mind sometimes. I mean, I always joke around at like my current job, like, yeah, I'm retiring at 27. There's no way I'm working until I'm 65 or 95. And you know, the truth is, like, I honestly don't want to retire when I'm 59 and a half or 65. Like, I want to retire when I'm young, got the youth, got the money, and I'm going places. That's what I'm trying to say. So before my like real corporate job, so I started working at this retail company. And if you guys care enough, if you do enough research, you could probably find out, or you're probably in the same situation as me. So I wanted to be a cashier because I wanted to get better at talking to people face to face. And because I just felt really anxious and I had a lot of anxiety whenever I wanted to talk to people or just like in social settings. So I was like, you know, if I be a cashier, it will really help me on my communication skills. So I started off as a cashier, and in the whole training, there was this big push to get people to sign up for credit cards. And I really didn't feel ethical telling people to sign up for a credit card just because they had like a driver's license. But you know, that was the thing. It's like the company wants this. It doesn't matter what you think or how you feel. You need to do this for the company because this is what's gonna make us money. So I started asking, like, I think I asked like 3 people, and then I was like, you know what, no, I can't do this. This does not feel good. And they all said no. And then 15 minutes go by, and it just felt like someone was watching me. It had to be someone was watching me. And then my manager pulls me off my cashier, or my, what do they call it? My cash register. And she was like, how come you're not asking people about credit cards? And in my head, I'm like, how do you know I'm not asking people? Like, are you watching me? And I was like, I get it. It's like, I just first started, but it's like, I told her straight up, like, I don't feel comfortable asking people to sign up for a credit card. And I don't want them to get this credit card, have it impact their credit score, then use their credit card, swipe. And then, you know, they just end up with bad credit because, you know, we're not really given the details of what a credit card is. And so she was like, you have to ask people, you have to ask every single customer that comes by that they need to sign up for a credit card or you can't work here. And I'm like, okay. I need this job. I can't get fired. My mom would kill me. And so then I started asking every single person. And I think like the first week or something, I didn't get anyone to sign up for a credit card, but I was asking every single person. And, you know, she appreciated that I was asking. But I remember my second week, she made me shadow her on how she was asking to get credit cards. And sure enough, I think after like the 5th person, someone signed up for a credit card. And I was like, you know what? I mean, that's cool and all, but it's like, in my head, I'm like, can we ask this person, like, do they know what they're actually signing up for? It'd be like all these tricks, like, hey, if you sign up today, you'll get 10% off instead of 5% off. I would just like, I'd be like, hey, how was your shopping trip? Oh, it was great. And then I'd be like, oh, by the way, do you want to sign up for a credit card? And they would be like, no, I don't want to sign up for a credit card. I have my own credit card. And most of the time, people have their own credit card. But I remember I went home and I told my mom straight up, like, hey, I just don't feel comfortable working at this retail store and asking people to sign up for a credit card that they don't want. And I feel like I'm forced to get someone to sign up for a credit card even though they don't want to. And so, because what they would do is, even if they said no, you would still like kind of like pester them, like, hey, only takes a couple minutes. All you need is your driver's license. That's all you need. Get this credit card. It'll help you out. And it's like, honestly, that's just not me. And my mom was just saying like, oh no, you need to stick it through and whatnot. You need this money. And I was like, okay. I nodded my head. I'm like, okay. I went upstairs. I'm like, I'm putting in my 2 weeks tomorrow. And so I remember I got my paper to get the 2 weeks because they had like an official 2 weeks notice paper. And my manager, another manager came up to me and she was telling me like, hey, you don't need to quit. Just, give it a couple more weeks. I know you don't feel good about asking people for credit cards, but you don't have to feel bad about it. And she kind of like calmed me down because I guess there was like a lot of emotion going on in my head and like thinking like, I just want to quit this job. I'm going to feel good when I quit and walk out the door, but I wouldn't have any money, any income coming in. And so eventually she convinced me to stay. And sure enough, somehow, some way, I had like a complete 180. And I got like people to sign up for credit cards like crazy. I don't know what it was. I don't know what I did, honestly, but people just started signing up for credit cards like crazy. For me, I was like number one every single week sometimes, and it was great. But I also felt bad every single time. And I ended up quitting that job because it got to a point where I just wanted to focus on school, and I still just felt bad with every single person that signed up for a credit card. Because there were some instances where like a person was signing up for a credit card and I just knew that like you do not need to have a credit card, but that's their own decision. Now I think they don't really care about credit cards anymore. I think they switched up their whole program, but that's pretty much it for me. If you have any 9-to-5 insights on your job or what it's like working a 9-to-5, please let me know down below. I really want to know everyone's story. Subscribe for more content. I don't know what I'm going to talk about next week. I might talk about social media. I'm thinking about deleting some of my social media platforms personally because social media is toxic, low-key, if you think about it. Obviously, social media can be used in the right way, but I feel like majority of people use it in the wrong way, and the people that are just on it are on it for the wrong reasons, and it's bad for their mental health. But that's a topic for another day. If you like the content, leave a like. If you dislike it, leave a like. If you subscribe, comment, share. That's it. Peace.